Hello everyone and welcome back to another Blender simulation tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make this very simple fluid simulation inside of Blender. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is press Shift A on the keyboard, and under Mesh I'll select Cube. You can also experiment with other meshes as well, such as a cone or a sphere, but I'm just going to use a cube for this one. Then I'm going to come out of this X-ray mode I'm in and just click this one. Then with my object selected, with left click on the mouse, I'll then left click Object, and then come down to Quick Effects, and then left click Quick Liquid. Now you can see a few things have changed. It's created a cuboid around my cube, and this is our domain. Now our domain is what will become and where our fluid will be held. So the good thing is, because this was very quickly generated, most of the settings are how we need them. So leave all this as it is. You can increase this resolution divisions if you want a higher quality simulation, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Then I'm going to left click diffusion, and I'm going to leave it at the default, which is water. I could change this to another substance if I wanted, out of the two presets there, or create a custom one. Then I'll left click this mesh box, turn this into a mesh, and now I'm going to come down to this cache here. So I'm going to change the type from replay to all, and I'll turn on is resumable. So I'll just click this folder button here, and then I'm going to find a place to store my cache. So I'll find a nice place where I can find it later if I want to delete it, since these bakes do take up a lot of computer storage and you may want to delete them at a later date. Then I'll just click this plus new directory button, I'll call it fluid1. Then I'll double click it and click accept. You can call the folder whatever you want, it doesn't have to be fluid1. Then as you can see, this animation is going to be 250 frames long. I can make it longer if I want, or shorter. I'm going to keep it at 250, and I'm going to make sure my end frame in my timeline is also 250. If you can't find your timeline, just click this button and make sure you select the timeline here. Now all that's left to do is press bake all, and now you'll see Blender will start going through all these frames, and that's it, just calculating how the fluid simulation will work. Now my animation is done. When I press play here, you can see it'll drop and it'll go like that, and it looks brilliant. You also find that if I switch to my render preview here, you'll see that there is a material being added already, which you can't really see right now, but if I press Shift A, light, sun, G, Z, and R, X, R, Y, and we make our cube disappear by just pressing this eye icon and the render icon. You can see there's this blue fluid here, and when I press play it'll be a little laggy, but yeah, you can see that would happen like that. And I can also create a plane. So press Shift A, plane, and I'll press my left arrow to go to frame 0, as you can just click frame 0 here in the timeline, so the playhead is there, and I can just bring this plane down, G and then Z. I'll left click this yellow circle, go into orthographic, G and Z to line it up fairly accurately. Then I'll press S to scale. Then when I press play, you can see that's going to look a lot better. I'll let it render out for a few seconds. Also, if you couldn't find this camera render button, just click this filter button and then turn it on here. So it should be highlighted in blue when you see it. One more thing to keep in mind about the material is if you're rendering inside of Eevee, make sure to turn on screen space refraction under settings in your material properties, and also come up to my render properties, and if I was, for example, rendering an Eevee, I'd want to make sure my screen space reflections were turned on and my refraction was turned on. And it's good to turn off this half res trace as well. And it's good to turn off this half res trace. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you found this quick tutorial useful. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I make more videos in the future. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next video.